Every single year, the rain comes, Accra floods, people lose everything. The government says sorry and then wait for the next year to do it all again. I've been watching this happen my whole life and I kept asking myself, are we just unlucky? Is Accra just badly placed? Or is there something deeper going on that nobody wants to talk about? So I went digging, and what I found genuinely surprised me. In this video, I'm going to break down exactly why Accra floods so badly, why it keeps happening despite decades of promises. But more importantly, I'm going to show you that this is not unsolvable, because some cities that had it worse than Accra actually fixed it, and the blueprint exists. By the end of this video, you are going to understand this problem in a way most Ghanaians don't, and you are going to see a version of Accra that is actually possible. Now, most people think flooding in Accra is just a drainage problem. You've heard it. The gutters are choked, nobody cleans the drains, and yeah, that's part of it. But here's what doesn't add up. Cities like Lagos, Kuala Lumpur, even parts of Dhaka have worse rainfall than Accra. They sit on flat plains, they have bigger populations, and yet they've significantly reduced their flooding over the last 20 years. Accra hasn't. So if it's just a drainage problem, why haven't we drained it? We've had the same problem for 40 years. We've had multiple governments, multiple budgets, multiple flood relief interventions, and the floods are actually getting worse, not better. Which means the real problem isn't what we think it is. So what is it? Okay, let's get into it. There are actually three compounding problems that nobody talks about together. Individually, each one is manageable. Together, they create a perfect storm, literally. Problem number one. Accra was never planned for the city it became. When the colonial road grid was designed, Accra had a fraction of today's population. The drainage infrastructure, the gutters, the culverts, the channels was built for much smaller city. Today, Accra has over 4 million people packed into a footprint that wasn't designed for it. What does that mean practically? It means as the city grew, it grew over its own natural drainage pathways. Rivers, streams that used to carry water away from the city, buildings sit on top of them now. Wetlands that used to absorb rainwater developed, paved over, gone. When the rain comes, the water has nowhere to go because we built on the places it used to go. Problem number two, illegal and unplanned development in flood-prone zones. This one is uncomfortable to talk about because it involves real people, many of them poor who built homes in areas that were always going to flood. Places like Alajo, Nima, Kwame Nkrumah Circle, catchment areas. These are low-lying zones that sit directly in the path of stormwater runoff. Why did people build there? Because land is expensive everywhere else. Because enforcement of building codes has been almost non-existent for decades. Because when we are just trying to survive, you build everywhere you can. But the result is that every time it rains heavily, the same communities get destroyed. And because the buildings are still there, because nobody has offered these residents anywhere else to go, the cycle repeats. Problem number three. Solid waste is the hidden multiplier. Here's one people really don't want to hear. Accra generates over 2,000 tons of solid waste per day. A significant chunk of that ends up in gutters, drains, and waterways. When the rain comes, the waste doesn't disappear, it compacts, it creates blockages, It turns a drainage system that was already undersized into one that's completely dysfunctional. So even a drainage infrastructure that does exist can't do its job because it's full of plastic bags, sachet, and rubbish. That's why you clean gutters in April and they are completely blocked again by June. The waste problem and the flooding problem are the same problem. So that's a real picture. It's not just bad luck. It's not just dirty Ghanaians. It's decades of underinvestment in urban planning, weak land use enforcement, waste management system that was never built to scale, a city that grew 10 times faster than its infrastructure. Now, here's where it gets interesting, because I told you that at the start this problem is solvable, and I meant it. There's a city in South Korea called Seoul. In the 1970s and 80s, part of it flooded almost as badly as Accra does today. They had the same problem: rapid urbanization, overwhelmed drainage, poor communities in flood zones. What they did to fix it is genuinely fascinating. The most interesting part, it wasn't the most expensive solution. It was actually a combination of 3 interventions that any city, including Accra, could implement with the right political will. And there are people in Accra, engineers, urban planners, local government officials who know exactly what those interventions are. I spoke to some of them for this series. In my next video, I'm going to show you what flood-free Accra actually looks like, the specific policies, the infrastructure investments, the community level changes, the cities around the world that have already proven it works. Because the question was never, can Accra solve this? The question is, who is going to decide it's time? Alright, so if this video made you think differently about flooding in Accra, or about how we talk about Ghana's problems in general, that's exactly what this channel is for. We are not here to complain, we are here to understand, and understanding is the first step to actually fix things. So if you want to be part of that conversation, please subscribe, hit the bell, because the next video goes even deeper and you don't want to miss this series. And please drop a comment below. I want to know, have you ever been affected by flooding in Accra? Where and what happened? This story deserves more voices than just mine. I'll see you in the next one.